Hello everyone. We are here again on a Monday night for Make It With Me Monday. I hope y'all had a great weekend, whether it was indoors, outdoors, whatever you happen to be doing. Hope it was a good one. All right, I just want to go over a couple quick things. Make sure that you are checking in on my Facebook page for the events upcoming. I have another class posted and should have another one posted again soon. The one that's posted there right now is another stack and shuffle. So if you did the one with Eden's Garden, you can now do one with the Blackberry Beauty designer series paper that was in the last mini catalog. I have one up for that as well. All right, and then just a reminder, we are in the last month here of Celebration, so it will run through the end of February, and that's again for every $50 you spend, there's things to choose from for free, and also then at a $100 level there's more, and there's more if you host and that sort of thing. So good idea to flip through that and just make sure that there aren't anything still on your wish list that you want to have handy. All right, the things I'm going to be using tonight come from the mini catalog and the Celebration catalog. They coordinate together. I'm going to be using the Daffodil Daydream, most of the items from its suite. So it's in the mini catalog on page 37. So here's the stamp sets, and it comes with a set of matching dies. Hey Jessie, good to see you tonight. That will die cut these images as well as others, so you can build three-dimensional daffodils or stamp and cut daffodils. There's parts for stems, all kinds of different things to put on your daffodils. And I put a post on my Facebook page recently that showed you how those go assembled together. Hi Mom, good to see you tonight. And if you, because when you first look at the dies, they might look a little overwhelming. It might be hard to tell what's supposed to go where to make what flower shape. And I have a visual aid done from Stampin' Up! That will help that a lot. Now the nice thing is that bundle is priced just right, so that if you choose that, then you can pick from the Celebration catalog this beautiful Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. I'm going to be working exclusively with this DSP tonight, showing you all the different colorings that are involved in it. It's not just yellow daffodil like you might think. There's some really pretty color combos in there as well. So everything tonight I'm using comes from the Daffodil Daydream Suite, as well as the Special Moments, nice little phrase set that's in the Celebration catalog at the $100 level. So you'll find that on page 14. So all my phrasings come from here, all my images come from here, as well as the die sets tonight. Alrighty, so let's get started. Here is what you need to have on hand. You want a card base that's 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score that at 2 3/4 and 8 1/4. Then you needed another piece of cardstock that's 2 by 3 1/4. So for my base, I'm going to be using Pale Papaya. For my other cardstock, I have Basic Black. You need a neutral piece that's 1 3/4 by 3. Mine is white. Then 2 pieces of Designer Series paper, and again, mine are coming from the Daffodil Daydream, and they each want to be 2 1/2 by 4. And then you wanted to have a focal point. I would say no bigger than 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, but you'll have a little leeway with this. And as you'll see as my samples go through, you'll see how this gets used, and it might change a little bit up what you might do with it next time. So for my focal point, I have a circle cut from the Layering Circles dies on basic white paper. It comes from this daffodil right here. So I cut just a little portion of it, and I used my blends. I have Flamingo, Papaya, and Granny Apple Green to color in the daffodil, and I colored it. It's going to be a little hard to see. Hopefully you'll see it better when I post it later. I followed the coloring on my DSP, so there's a rim of flamingo around the papaya color. So I kind of mimicked what I saw in the paper. And if you need to, if you have a colored cardstock base, if you want to have something for the inside, you want to grab a neutral piece that's 4 by 5 1/4. I didn't have that on the directions because I don't know for sure if you guys are grabbing white or plain or other colored cardstock. So just a little reminder that that's what you need. Then you also want to have a phrase that's big enough to fill, or pretty much fill, that that white piece or your neutral piece that's 1 3/4 by 3. Alrighty, so let's start by folding this up on those crease marks. So give that a nice burnish with your bone folder. And they should come together and meet in the middle. So similar to a gatefold card. So that's going to be the front. So now you have a flat, and we're going to use this vertically. So you're going to have a top and bottom. And then, like I said, if you have a colored piece that you want to have then a neutral piece for the inside, cut a 4 by 5 1/4. All right, first part's easy peasy. You're going to take those 2 pieces of Designer Series paper and layer them on the flaps. So 1 top, one bottom. And as you can see, here's the other side of that designer series paper. It's just pale papaya with these cute little white dots on it. So even the opposite sides of that daffodil paper are just really cute and pretty. There's little plaid patterns and dots, and I think one of them has little tiny green hearts on it. Super, super cute. Whoop. Okay. Whoop. Oh, if Carol Blurberger's watching, here's what I was going to tell you. She wanted a little tip and trick for how to use the Stampin' Seal with get the best lift. So there's two ways. I would do across and then pop it the back this direction, or I actually like to hold it this way. And I go across and the same thing, flip it up at the end to get that to release better. Because sometimes they stick a little or get gunked up on each other. And that's a little, so Carol, there you go. That was my little trick on how to use my Stampin' Seal. Hopefully that helps you as you learn to use your new one. All right, so go ahead and grab that neutral piece of paper and whatever ink you are going to use for your phrase. I actually just have Memento, so mine is black. And again, pardon my head if I get in the camera. I just want to make sure I'm pretty much even. All right, so mine says, thanks for brightening up my day. And again, that's going to come from the Daffodil Daydream. Okay, and that's going to get layered on that. Oops, of course, that's black on black for you guys. It's going to get layered on that other piece of cardstock then that you have. So go ahead and do that. And then I'll put it up so you can see like that, okay? Now we're going to take it, we're going to adhere it to the top flap of the card. So you only want to put adhesive on the top half or so of this piece. Now you have a couple choices. Of course, you can go directly in the middle, having it centered. You can push it off to the left or to the right. So I'm going to start with mine, I think, over maybe to the right a little bit, because that's a little different than I did my other samples. So that'll give you a good idea. Make sure I did that. Yep, that is the top. With my luck, I would have run that across the bottom. Okay, so again, and I would probably center this way a little bit, unless your other piece is a little larger, then you can go up a little bit higher. Okay, so basically you want to have that so that when it opens, you haven't accidentally sealed that shut. So the adhesive just goes on the top of that particular piece right there. All right, now you're going to want to grab your focal point and your dimensionals, because this piece we're going to need to pop up a little bit. So I'm going to grab my minis, and let's see. I'm going to want the top there. I don't want to put too much adhesive near the top. We're going to use this actually to help hold the card closed. So I would keep my dimensionals around and in the middle, but leave a little bit of room at the top for that flap to fit under. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about in just a second. All right, one in the middle. Come on, little guys, let go. There they go. That's the most boring part, right? Watching me take dimensional pieces off. Okay, now like I said, I'm gonna use this piece to help keep the lid this closed. So I'm gonna have it go so that it's just tucked a little bit behind there. And then when you open and close it, it'll slide under there. And it helps keep it closed when it's just sitting like that. So pop. Alrighty, I will set this aside and show you some of my other samples while you guys are finishing that up. So same concept throughout. Like I said, I've used the Daffodil Daydream stamp set along with the Special Moments and then the Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. So here's another version. This particular 12 by 12 piece of paper, let me grab the catalog and show you, is really kind of cute, unique, because the two pieces meet together. Oh, wait, it's in the Celebration catalog, silly me. The two pieces come together, the two patterns of this across of the images. So you'll see it across one edge and you'll see it across the other edge. So if you just cut straight down the middle and then break this up into little pieces, it's like the perfect piece for a card front. So you have blank space at the top that you can either stamp onto or add your embellishments to, and then the rest of it is just done for you with all the beautiful artwork of the daffodil. So that's all I did, is I took my piece and I made sure I cut it so that the neutral stayed up here and the darker stays down here, so it's like one continuous piece. I die cut the butterflies out of the set, the dies that come with the daffodils. So there's those two little layers of butterflies. I added these little speckles, which are in, whoops, sorry about that, that are in the Daffodil Daydream, so they're right up there, those little speckles. So just to give that, break up that neutral a little bit. For future ones, if you want to make this a little smaller, depending on what phrase you've got, that's absolutely totally fine. Break that down smaller into whatever you need to fit. Just remember when you're cutting your border that you use an extra 1/4 of an inch So if this is 2 by 3, then you go 2 1/4 by 3 1/4 for the layer, etc. And I used some champagne rhinestones. Those are actually just in the annual catalog. And that's on page, champagne rhinestones. That's on page 142. So I forgot which ones I was using for a second. Okay, so here's another one. Again, from the same packet of paper. Now look at already how different these color schemes are. So you've got some very basic, typical ones. You've got these beautiful peachy papaya ones. Now they've incorporated other flowers as well. So we've got flamingo, we've got mint macaron, all kinds of pretty stuff. I used the medium daisy punch, and that's in the annual catalog, page 150, as my closure. And so there you can see there's my opening. And again, it just tucks behind the little daisy to help keep it closed. And again, I use some of those little speckles. And then I have some iridescent rhinestones, which are in the mini catalog on page 9. All right, then as I like to do, I'm going to show you, you can flip that the other direction. Whoops, helps if it's not upside down. So same layout, same dimensions. Mine just now opens left and right instead of top and bottom. And for the little tucked part, I die cut 3 little flowers from, this comes from in the daisy set as well. And I added little tiny pearls to them. Those are on the in the annual catalog, page 143. And then I did a little blending over my neutral piece there to break up the whiteness just a little bit. And the stamp there, of course, does come from the daffodils as well. So here again, look at the difference in the DSP. So dark greens, you've got the mint popping through. So very, very different patterns throughout this whole DSP pack. All right, so going back to this one, here then is my stepped up version. So the difference being I added another layer of cardstock behind my DSP. So there's a little black edge which takes out some of the papaya color. And then instead of doing squares, I cut out 2 shapes from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. So I did my white piece like that and my black piece like that. So there's stitching and scalloping, more champagne rhinestones. And then I die cut my daffodil instead of coloring and punching it out. I used that mother of pearl specialty paper. It's really glossy, but very sparkly. I love, it's very stunning when you see it in person. And then the pale papaya flower on top. So I was mimicking kind of what I saw here. So white petals, papaya middle. And like I said, then I added an extra layer here using this as my pop-up. And then this one I did actually finish off on the inside. So there's my inside panel. And this is where I then took my stamped image and added it in here instead of just on the front. All right, and then I'll show you where I got this inspiration from. I was in a swap recently, and this one was done by demonstrator Joanne Beckerman. And here's her version. Now she took a different set of DSP, and similar concept here. We used the layers being done with the die cut, and she actually stamped and embossed on vellum and then laid that over her peach paper. So that's kind of a cute way to do it. And then her die cut is larger and in the middle, but still same concept. Tuck it in, and there you go. All right, so that is kind of a fun fold. It kind of goes together pretty quickly, and you don't necessarily have to do that little tuck in. You could add the little image above on the flap or something like that if you don't want to mess with the tuck in. But I think that just adds a nice, cute little element of surprise. So again, look at those different papers that come from that Daffodil Daydream or Daffodil Afternoon pack. You've got a wonderful array of colors from like the dark backgrounds to the pretty bright whites. It's got some vanilla, some white, some papaya, some flamingo. You got all kinds of really pretty springy colors, which hopefully makes that feel kind of like how it's headed toward, I hope, soon. I know it's just February, but let's encourage those nice springy temperatures to not wait too long to show up. All right, everybody, that is it for tonight. Thanks again for joining me for another Make It With Me Monday, and I will see you again next week. Take care, everybody.